And $100,000 is the new $50,000. Because how you even surviving if at minimum you ain't bringing in $100,000 a year?
$100,000 a year is not enough money to comfortably live anymore.
I never thought I'd see the day where $100,000 isn't enough in this economy.
A lot of people think that a $100,000 job is a lot of money, and I hate to break it to you, but $100,000 isn't shit.
If $100,000 a year isn't enough anymore, what number is? Because I think a lot of Americans today are having a hard time figuring that out. $100,000 a year, that used to mean that you have made it, okay? I'm talking about at least $100,000 every single year. That was the sweet spot for everybody. I'm talking about house, cars, vacations, breathing room. That was what we all strived for. But nowadays, there are people out here pulling that exact salary, selling their grandmother's jewelry to cover their bills. And that's not a story that I'm making up here, okay? That is actually real. That is happening right now as I speak. And if that can happen to those people, then you need to understand what's actually going on out here. Because the deal is that we're all being sold something that is dead, okay? And I'm here to prove it.
I make six figures and I still feel like I'm broke every single month. I'm tired of pretending like that's not my reality. On paper, I should feel financially stable, but I was unemployed for a good bit before starting this job that I'm at right now. And, you know, my savings definitely took a hit from that. And I'm also back living at home with my parents. And it's not because I'm lazy. And, you know, you'd think I'd be saving money this way. But I'm basically keeping this household afloat. And then people wonder, like, why I can't just, like, move out. Like, between helping my family with mortgage and just household bills and my own expenses and just saving it for my future and just, you know, life in general, I just feel like I'm still not making enough money. Like, I wish I could just move out and be able to afford all of this, but like, I can't. And I just feel so behind because of it. I'm also first generation, and I think growing up in an immigrant family really changes the way you think about money. Like, you never really feel fully comfortable, and there's always this like pressure to, you know, help out, save, and just be responsible. Like, there's always just this financial pressure that always exists. And sadly, I'm like complete opposite of the typical stereotype. Like, there aren't any doctors in my immediate family, just financial anxiety. But yeah, I just genuinely don't feel like I'm where I want to be. I just wonder if there's anyone else who feels like this and can relate.
Things that make me broke, even though I made six figures. People don't want to admit this, but you can make six figures and still be stressing financially. You think money solves all your problems, but it doesn't change this, right? And ask me how I know. Number one, lifestyle inflation. I got some more money. I got paid more. I look up and say, hey, I need a new bag. I need a new car. I could live in a nicer place, a nicer area. I can afford the little trinkets that I really like, you know, so more packages to the crib. I can afford to eat out now, so let me do that. I can afford to get a few drinky drinks while I'm out, so let me do that. The thing is, your income can grow, but if your expenses grow at the same rate, you're just able to maintain expensive bills. Number two, not having a plan for my money. I had a couple different savings accounts, right? Checking, savings. That was it. I wasn't really focused on investing too much. I wasn't focused on, let me create a plan. I was at first really good at buying things with my credit card and then paying it off immediately. And then I started financing more things. And then the plan went out the window because the plan was real loosey-goosey to begin with. Spending, unexpected spending. Bills, unexpected bills, or higher bills now, right? Because I done got all these things that I can afford now. Subscriptions that I completely forgot about. By the end of the month, I'll be like, where is my money? I ate it, I wore it. I sure as hell didn't save it though. Well, as it turns out, vibes aren't a real financial strategy. Number three, I thought future Dr. Taylor would be able to fix everything. I'll pay for it later. I'll think about it later. I'll devise a plan later. I'll watch this video later. I'll read up on it later. Meanwhile, interest is doing what interest does best as time goes by, accrues, and collecting rent. Remember, and take it from me, high income does not equal automatic wealth. You need a system. And the gag is, nobody tells you it's actually easy to make money, but it's hard to maintain it. You can make good money, and still be broke.
That number that everybody has told us to chase, yet there's nothing left at the end of the month, is one of the biggest scams that I've ever heard. Since 2021, the cost of basically everything has risen up to about 25%. So that means that a six-figure paycheck does the work way smaller than what it used to. The number looks impressive on paper. It definitely looks impressive on paper, but the lifestyle that you are expected to have back then compared to now keeps on shrinking. And people are out here showing up every single day. They are standing at a counter, they're having to sell things that their family gave them just to make a payment or something. Americans are sitting at the lowest personal savings in the last 3 years. Bankruptcy filings have been climbing for 3 years straight. So when somebody making six figures tells you that they feel broke, you should believe those guys, because the floor, the goalposts, it has all just shifted. The rules have changed, and the bar for quote unquote making it quietly got higher while the paycheck stayed the same.
Listen, I'm doing the best I can in life with the tools that I have. What kind of tools do you have? Food, alcohol, and Wi-Fi.
Here's how I spent my $200,000 paycheck from last month. First things first, I bought $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. I spent $14,000 on my rent for my condo. I paid my parents' mortgage, and that was $3,000. I have 3 cars, so I paid 3 car notes. My McLaren is $4,500 a month. My Escalade V is $3,000 a month, and my G-Wagon is another $3,000 a month. Obviously, I got to insure the cars. My insurance is $1,800 a month. My credit card bill this month was $8,400. I didn't really buy too much. And then I took one of my friends to say courtside. That was $4,500 for 2 tickets. And then I took another group of my friends to go to dinner at one of my favorite restaurants. Paid for everybody, and that was $2,800. And last but not least, I saved $50,000 for taxes, and now I'm broke.
I know everybody's going to be incredibly surprised when we go over to the profile. Entrepreneur, investor in Houston, a pro sports bettor, with a link to the GOAT Sports Bets membership that costs $25 a month. This is just another version of a course seller, and when it comes to these gambling people, it legitimately is a gamble. We've seen on older videos that people have tracked these guys, and a lot of them end up losing a lot of their picks. But it doesn't matter, because you're paying them every single month, so they'll still be able to make money at the end of the day, but you'll be broke.
I did everything that I was told to do. I went to school, I got a degree, I did internships, I got work experience, and now I can't even get interviews for entry-level roles. It's crazy because it feels like the more you follow the rules, the less that it actually guarantees. So why are we told to do everything right if it still doesn't get us anywhere?
If you're making $100,000 a year, you're considered poor. Let that sink in. When I started going to college in 2006, like the goal was to make $100K. Like, oh, balling. And no, you're not balling in today's world.
6 figures is no longer enough. I don't know how y'all are surviving in the U.S. economy. I don't know how people are making it. For some reason, all of these videos keep popping up on my feed about people losing their jobs and can't sell their house, groceries are too high, they work in 3 jobs and it's still not enough. And it's just like, I don't even search this stuff, but the algorithm must know, like, it's getting hard. It's getting hard for all of us. Even if you make 6 figures, even if you make 100,000, 200,000, like, it's literally not enough, because it seems like everything continues to go up. Everything except our salaries continue to go up. So I just want to know, let's have a conversation in the comment section. Who is doing okay? Who is struggling? Who is at wit's end? Who is like, I'm this close to living out of my car. I'm this close to. And then the thing is, it's the domino effect, because as soon as people get to their wit's end point, to where it's like, I'm willing to do whatever I gotta do to survive, to feed my family. And this is why you have the domino effect of all the violence, all the this and that. It's because everything is trickling down. We literally cannot survive. And if you have not invested, if you don't have any savings, if you don't have any assets, if you've been living paycheck to paycheck before all of this, now you're going into debt, or some people can't even borrow money. Like, we are in literal hard times. If you are not in the United States, let me know where you are and how the economy is for you. But we're in bad times. We're in hard times with the United States economy, the job market. I'm so grateful that I have a job, that I make the money that I do, but none of it is guaranteed. None of it's guaranteed. We could wake up tomorrow and be like, you know, all these people getting laid off back to back. I've seen videos. People were like getting laid off for 4 times in 2 years. It's really bad. How y'all holding up?
I never thought I'd see the day where $100,000 isn't enough in this economy. That's what the news reported. That the average lower class American, they're considered lower class now if you make $100,000 a year. So if you make $100,000 a year or less, you're considered lower class. And the average person making $100,000 does not qualify to buy a home. And they possibly qualify to get on government assistance because it's just not enough in this economy. When did the American dollar start to go down? Because it's happening. The value of the American dollar has gone down substantially. And that's why the goalpost is being pushed, because as we're meeting these goals that was set, the standards that were set by our parents to get a job, go to college, we're meeting these goals and it's still not enough. I legit make more now than I ever have, and I'm struggling. Literally. Some days I still have to get out there and DoorDash, Walmart deliver, just to make ends meet. And this is a two income household. So tell me when this happened. Like when at one point $100,000, like that was more than enough in a year to survive, to go on vacation, to live comfortably. That's what I want to know. When did this become the new norm, where $100,000 is considered low income, where it's considered not even middle class? I don't even think middle class even exists anymore.
$100,000 a year is not enough money to comfortably live anymore. It's not. And the problem is most Americans don't even make that. And if they do make $100,000 a year after taxes, they're only taking home like $5,000. They got to pay rent, car bill, groceries, whatever other expenses, insurance, so on and so forth. They probably can't save anything, and they're living check to check on $100,000 a year. I definitely think America has a major problem, a major one. And they need to find a way to fix this. Maybe lower the taxes, stop taxing people so much so that people can keep more of their money. That might be a start, but I don't know if they're going to do that. But I mean, look, in a major city, for sure, $100,000 a year ain't shit. It's nothing in a major city. Maybe in like a rural area, small town, middle America, sure, maybe that's livable. But in a major city in America, it's not. In a major city in America, to live comfortably, you need to be making, honestly, like $250,000 to $300,000 a year. Because after taxes, you know, what you're left with is going to be enough to pay rent, pay expenses, and be able to save some money so that you could one day possibly stop working so hard. But really, I genuinely believe $250,000 to $300,000 a year is the minimum cutoff to have a decent life. Not a great one, a decent one if you live in a major city in America.
And $100,000 is the new $50,000. Because how you even surviving if at minimum you ain't bringing in $100,000 a year? Like $100K a year, especially, is like the $50K. But because most people ain't even touching that a year, the conversation starts to be different. So this is what it sounds like. $100K ain't no money because you still can't even really barely live in this type of economy off $100,000. But problem is, most people out here ain't even making $100,000 a year. In fact, most people aren't even touching past $70,000 a year. And you also got to remember that $100,000 ain't really $100,000. This conversation all the time. When I say $100,000 ain't really a lot of money, it really just depends on your type of situation and how you're living in this type of economy. If you having kids back to back, I'm sorry, no shade, no judgment zone, but you ain't really eating good. You ain't living good. It's hard to build something with that $100,000 and all them kids with no potential secondary support. And that's even more sad for the single people with no kids, because then you get into these jobs where they really start treating you some type of way because you don't have kids, and they don't even want to pay you that type of money because they know if you had that type of money, you'd be balling out.
A lot of people think that a $100,000 job is a lot of money, and I hate to break it to you, but $100,000 isn't shit. Let me explain to you what I mean. So here's a snippet of my paycheck. And as you can see, I make $120,000. I get paid bi-monthly, so that means every month I get paid $10,000. That means that each paycheck is only $5,000. Now, as you can see, after you deduct taxes, Social Security, and all that garbage, I'm left with $3,300 per paycheck or $6,600 per month. That equates to only $72,000 per year. Now, I live in California, and rent here for a one-bedroom apartment is roughly between $2,500 to $3,000. So that means rent here is one half of your paycheck. Granted, I get it, other parts of the US is probably a little bit less expensive, but you see the point that I'm trying to make. In today's world, where everything is extremely expensive, $100,000 isn't shit.
And don't think that this stops at 100K, okay? Don't think that this stops at six figures, because if 100 grand isn't enough nowadays as an American, what number is? No one can really answer that. That's the scariest part. I'm not talking about earning $500,000. I'm talking about something that is very obtainable to the average American, because if it's not 100K, it's getting harder and harder to live out here. There's no salary that you can point to and go, okay, this is the safe number, okay? The goalpost keeps on moving and nobody is telling you guys where the new line is. And I think at the end of the day, the American dream was a simple promise. It was to work hard, play by the rules, and you get a stable life. It was that simple. And that promise assumed your money would hold its value and your effort would someday pay off. Now, both of these promises were shattered, obviously, right? Your dollar buys less every single year, and consumer confidence just hit some of the lowest levels that has ever been recorded. Lower than, let's say, the 2008 crash, lower than the COVID pandemic. People aren't just struggling out here, guys. People have stopped believing that the deal is even real anymore. That's not even a recession. That is a dream dying in real time. So if you're doing everything right out here and you still feel like you are underwater, I wouldn't say that you are the problem, okay? Now, there are people out here, spending more than what they make, of course, but we're not talking about those people. We're talking about people that are really out here, trying to do everything that they can to get ahead. Because it's not them, it's the math that's the problem, okay? It's the promise that we have been given that is the problem, okay? So I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comment section of what number do you think that you would feel secure in this economy today? And do you still believe in the American dream? And also, don't forget to subscribe if you're done being lied to, about how this economy actually works, all right? Because we got some good stuff coming here. So I'll see you guys next time.